All right, West Coast, good morning. You are tuned into Long Beach Radio, and this is going to be a special day. We've tried, we've tried bagel eating. We've had a psychic in here. We've even tried knitting lessons, but this is going to be our first crack at magic. I have sitting in the chair to my right, Evans Martin, who is, well, I guess you can probably introduce yourself better than I could. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Good morning. This is Evans Martin. I come from the Chilliwack First Nations. I'm a member of the Chilliwack First Nations. Born here. Been away from home for about 40 years. Just moved back to the area. I was living in Victoria for 22 years, and out of that time I spent 20 years studying and mastering the art of illusions, close-up stage productions, and sleight of hand.
See, you say you've been away for 40 years. I've heard that magic has a tendency to keep people young for a long time. You know?
Yes.
Gandalf and all the elves and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So, where did you learn? You said you spent a lot of time studying this. Where do you go to study magic?
Well, when I moved to Victoria, I was into photography at first. That was my first love that I had, and I've always had an interest in it. And anyway, to make the story short, that stuff got stolen, so I had to find something else to do to preoccupy my time, because I was early in my sobriety.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been like 24 years in April 10th since I.
So you just needed something to keep yourself busy, keep yourself focused, and
keep myself focused and keep doing something positive.
Yeah. And so you came across this?
Yes. I studied under a gentleman by the name of late Tony Ing, who owned Tony's Trick and Joke Shop on Douglas and Broughton.
Yeah. And
I didn't know Victoria that well, so I was walking around downtown and came across this great big bright yellow sign said Tony's Trick and Joke Shop. And it got the best of my curiosity, so I went in and I seen this Oriental guy standing behind the counter, and it was a big crowd in front of him. So I pushed my way through the crowd and. Excuse me, Indian coming through, kind of joking around about it, right? And everybody's looking at me, and so I made my way up to the front. And I seen Tony do this disappearing handkerchief routine. Yeah. And it really got my attention. So I went home for a couple days and thought about it, and I went to my account and took out $100 and went back and
got your starter kit.
I asked Tony. I asked him. I was like, that disappearing handkerchief routine. I said, can anybody buy into it? And he said, yeah. And well, anyway, I came back with $100 because I just, I wasn't too sure what the cost of, getting into magic was going to cost. And so anyway, I asked Tony. I said, "Well, Tony," I said, how much is the disappearing handkerchief routine?" He said, "Oh, that'll be $10 plus tax." And this was like over 20 years ago. So, like a little kid in a candy store, I was just like, "All right, I got myself $100. I can get this and this."
Yeah, and all of a sudden you had a whole bag of tricks.
Well, Tony, he stopped me right in my tracks, and he said. He said to me, he said, "Well, Evans," he said, "tell you what." He said, I'll take the $90 from you, and I will put that on an account for you. So when you come into the shop," he said, "I'll let my staff know who you are." He said, "I just want you to go home, work on this one routine, work in front of a mirror." Because he told me, he said, he said, the mirror was my audience. And he said, if you can see what you're doing in the mirror, he said, then you can, your audience can see what you're doing. Yeah. So I went home and I worked on this disappearing handkerchief routine which I'll give you a demo right now.
Sure, let's do it. This is going to be tough for the folks at home listening on the radio, but I do have a camera here. I'm going to try to keep it roughly where my eyes are so that you can watch the video afterwards and check it out. And you'll be able to check Evans out live a little later in the week. We'll talk about that later as well. So this was the first trick you learned?
This was actually the first trick I learned from Tony. So what we'll do is we'll have this go through the hand here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll place this on the inside.
I should point out that there's nothing up your sleeves because you're wearing a short sleeve shirt. So that's kind of one of those those wizards tricks that.
And what I'll take is I've got 2 different colored scarves, one yellow, one red.
Yep.
I'll place the red one on my wrist. Place the yellow one in my fist. Push it down. We'll take the red one. Cover the hand the best we can. And there we have it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So this was actually...
Yeah, you're even flipping the red one around and it's not just behind it or anything.
Yeah.
All right.
And
See, I have no idea how you did that.
Just to show the hands here. So
that was trick 1.
This was the first one I learned, and then from there I gradually picked up and went into the other one. So here we'll have it.
It came basically through the red one out of if it was still in your hand somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
so.
Wow.
Our I guess I don't know. Our code of ethics is that we're not supposed to show the trick more than once, but what I'll do is I'll have this go through the hand here.
Yeah.
Place that on the inside just to show you one more time.
Yeah.
So as soon as I push it down, I turn my hand over. And as soon as I start moving my fingers here and turn it over, what happens is it goes up this side and down this side. But as you can see, there's nothing in there. But as soon as I make a fist, we'll reach on in and we'll have it reappear on the other side here.
That's crazy. It did just teleport from one hand to the other, I swear. That is fantastic.
So there we have it.
So you've been doing this. Obviously, the training's been taking a long time. You got a whole bag of tricks here. I don't want to give away too many of your secrets looking at the box. But what's this event coming up later in the week? You got a charity presentation sort of thing happening?
I'm doing a fundraiser for Tanya Edwards, who's been in the Tofino area for 16 years. She originally comes from New York, and the reason why I'm doing this fundraiser is because her grandpa's just turned 93 probably about 4 or 5 days ago. And he's in the hospital care right now, and so the show that's going to be coming up on Friday at Tinwis at the conference center on the Pacific Rim Highway there. This event that I'm doing, this show that I'm doing for her, will help her with her expenses and help with her family's, to get her back home.
To get her to visit.
To go and see her grandpa before,
Yeah. All right, so that's, sorry, did you say Friday? Friday at the Tinwiz in the conference center. I guess the best way to get more information probably just to contact the Tinwiz. They could help you out, or is there another?
There's a number that you can reach me at 250-725-8160. That's the cell number.
Okay.
So
sweet, and then
people can get a hold of me there.
More details there. All right. Well, should we wrap things up here with another trick or two?
Sure.
I see cards and little blue foamy ball things here. I don't know what we're going to accomplish, but I'm game. More magic with Evans Martin right here on Long Beach Radio. You'll be able to watch the video online a little while afterwards. So let's see what you got. This is not a full deck of cards. This is just a couple like custom built for this trick here.
Yeah. This here is called This and That. What I've got is I've got 3 cards here. 1, 2, 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this card.
Yep.
This card. And that card.
Okay.
So we have 2 of this.
Yep.
1 of that. So your job is to keep an eye on that card. So what I'm going to do with that card is I'm going to place that card on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that card?
Well, it should be on the bottom.
No, that's this card.
So where's that card then?
Well, you're suspecting it's on top. Well, that's also this card. And well, you're saying that it could be in the middle.
It would have to be in the middle, yeah.
Well, that's also this card. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I've got 3 of this card, and I'm not being fair.
Mm-hmm.
But this is that card.
So it was on the bottom, or was it? I gotta get that angle. There we go. It was getting whited out on the camera.
So this is that card.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, this card's got to be on top. Well, this is also that card. Well, this card's got to be in the middle. This is also that card.
That card.
So it's not fair. I've got 3 of that card now.
Mm-hmm.
But if I turn it over, we've got this card,
Yeah.
this card, and this card.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in life, we get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but not much of the other.
Holy smokes! Whole new card. There's only 3 cards. That was pretty sweet. That was really, and like, I guess that's the nice thing about Magic like this is that you don't need much. You know, a couple. Well, I don't know how many cards. Apparently, just 3 Magic cards, and you're there. Cool. Do we have time for one more before we send you out of here? What have we got? Just this looks like a normal deck of cards.
We'll do the sponge ball routine.
Okay.
So, if I place this on the inside of the hand,
Mm-hmm.
how many do I have?
1.
1, right?
Yeah.
So, what we'll do is we'll place that on the inside. Here,
Yep.
you take the other one.
Yep.
Squeeze.
Squeeze.
Squeeze tight.
Squeezing tight.
Watch. So. Open up your hand now.
Now I've got both of them.
So there we go.
That's a pretty good one. So you do your act. We're kind of doing the up close thing because of the space. Do you have bigger stuff? Do you saw a woman in half or anything like that?
I haven't gotten into that yet, but eventually, there is some stuff that I'm working on. Like I've bought a levitation from Chris Angel.
Yeah. Wow. So is that how it works? You basically pay someone for their secret and then kind of agree not to share that secret?
Well, how it came about that one was I seen Chris Angel. I've never seen this gentleman before, and first time I seen him was on A&E.
Yeah.
And he was in this bar scene where he stood in front of a chair and he levitated up to the chair. Yeah. I kind of had an idea as to how it was done, but it wasn't really too sure. Yeah. So anyway, I knew that the gentleman that owns Tony Strickland Joke Shop now is named Murray Hatfield. Yeah. I phoned Murray up, and I knew he had connections with Chris Angel through the International Brotherhood of Magicians. Yeah. So I told Murray, I said, well, I need you to get a hold of Chris Angel because I'd like to buy his levitation. Yeah. And he's like, well, he's got a bunch of different levitations. And I said, well, tell Chris that he was in a bar and he'll know what you're talking about. So anyway, I got a phone call from Murray a couple weeks later and told me that Chris Angel sent the DVD. So I went down and I paid for it, and we're sworn under secrecy not to. That's why you're a brotherhood. Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Well, I look forward to someday down the road seeing your levitation bit, and this Friday at the Tin Whiz for your charity event. Yeah, that show will be starting at 7:30 p.m. Yep. Could be Indian time. Yeah. So, Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there'll be another big storm. We'll have to do it by candlelight. Yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming in, Evans. It's been a blast. A first time trying magic on the radio. I think it worked out okay. Yeah. And we'll talk to you very soon. Okay. Thank you. Right.